We welcome Cowboys radio analyst Babe Laufenberg back in studio. I think the first time since the pandemic that you've been with us here in the Free for All studio.
Yeah, a lot of that Zoom stuff going on. And I have to tell you, too, Sam and Deuce, I parked in the covered structure here, of course, and I pulled in, and they're numbered. And I took number 8. It was the only one open. So if Aikman shows up and has to park on the street tonight, he's going to be upset about that.
I thought you thought you were at the wrong channel there or something.
No.
Back from Seattle.
No, I know you work for Channel 11. Go ahead. What?
I didn't think those words could come out of your mouth anymore. Back from Seattle, late night, early morning?
Yeah, I went to bed at 7:30, and it's very rare that I set the alarm now at my age for noon. But that's what I did because I didn't want to sleep all day.
All right, let's talk about it. A couple guys who've impressed during training camp continued to do so last night. Babe, Deuce Vaughn showing that he belongs on this roster. Question, though, how do you think he's going to be utilized this season?
Probably what we've seen him do here in the preseason, catching screens. He's actually a pretty good inside runner. You don't think of a guy 5'5" as we want to run him between the tackles, but he has a real knack, and he's got a powerful lower body. So I'm not saying pound him through the tackles for 20 times a game, but he's a little deceptive in that sense. The other part is when you draft a guy and he's 5'5", you don't bring him in and say, hey, what do you think we should do with this guy? I mean, you have a plan for him when you draft him. The other part I love about that is usually when you're drafting a player, you say, well, I had this guy and he reminds me of this guy and this guy played this and who reminds you of a 5'5" running back? You don't see him. Darren Sproles 20 years ago.
Guys named Deuce, they got a lot of fight in them, so we wish them the best.
Yes.
Receiver Jalen Tolbert.
So wait a minute, so you're saying when we're at AT&T Stadium and that crowd starts to Deuce, it's really for you.
No, if it's for me, they'll actually be booing. It won't be Deuce. But
God. Sam, how do you put up with the egomaniacal nature of Michael?
I just deal with it.
Moving on to discuss Jalen Tolbert, disappointing rookie year, but the receiver had another good night last night, 66 yards in receptions. Good camp by all accounts. What do you like about what you've seen from him?
Just probably what everybody else has. He seems to be coming on, and I asked him, hey, if you were to number it 1 through 10, what were you last year? And what are you this year? And he said, I was a 2 last year. And I thought, that's pretty damn honest, right? I mean, I would have given myself maybe a 3 or 4 or something. But he said, I'm a 6 this year. Again, I like that honesty because a lot of guys might tell you, oh, I'm at a 9. I'm almost there. But he is coming. He's a small school player, came from South Alabama, so sometimes it takes those guys a little longer to develop. Now, does that mean he's ready to go in the NFL? We'll kind of find out in the regular season.
Babe, you know a thing or two about being a relief pitcher as a quarterback. Cooper Rush showed that ability in Dak's absence last year. We saw what he did. Watching him in these preseason games, it's evident how much more comfortable he is with this offense. You say a team is doomed if it loses its superstar quarterback for any length of time, but that doesn't appear to be the case for the Cowboys. What qualities, do you admire and respect about Cooper Rush?
Well, everybody talks about in that building how smart he is. And I think the biggest thing, too, is what he did last year, going 4-1 in those 5 starts in Dak's absence and playing well. I just think the confidence it gave him, because everybody thinks they can do it as an athlete. You think I can do it, give me my chance, blah, 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 and then they get out there, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's a little bit of a different Cooper Rush from the standpoint that now he's not hoping he can do it or thinking he can do it. He knows he did it, and the people around him know he did it. The other part of that, too, is I'm just happy that the Cowboys have this backup in place now. Cooper's been in Dallas here. He's been back and forth a little bit, but, 4 or 5 years now. So I hate, you're bringing a backup for this year, then they get a new guy the next year, then you got another one. And a lot of teams do that. But get some continuity in there where the guy knows the offense, and you're familiar with him, he's familiar with the team, and I think that's what they have now in Cooper Rush.
All right, more with Babe Laufenberg coming up. Thoughts on Mike McCarthy's new role in the offense and the level of heat on the McCarthy hot seat or something like that. That's coming up.